UK extermination programme in progress. The weaponised psychotronic concentration camp.
I give you joy, you give me pain. I ask for your mercy and you give me your blame. You fill me with words I don't wanna say. You make me a freak in your society.
You get an assigned handler who will attempt to repattern your brain by breaking down your will, and if they are anything like my handler, they are obsessed with talking and looking at your sexual bits, or talking about them all day, repeating your thoughts, criticising your actions, body shaming you, generally pissing you off because they won't shut up all day long. In my local town, I had noticed 5G masts on the car park overlooking a small pub, which is like local in Birmingham. The Hunter's Moon I saw. Lots of antennas along each street light as well that looked like the shape of pigeons. I had to look twice to see if they were baby pigeons. I was shocked, and the sheer size of these large-headed masts that was over this car park as well. They have their own power generating boxes at the foot of them. I thought, why would they need like three large masts in such close succession? It just looks mad. What I'm about to say in this video is purely from my own opinion, joining the dots together, using God's word and what I have witnessed in my own life and what I have gathered watching certain events roll out in the media. The people I mention in this are alleged, as I don't have any physical proof they are involved, just my discernment in what I am laying witness to with my experiences being in the V2K programme. And from what I understand, the V2K programme uses satellite and 5G or some sort of military grade weapon to direct the energy onto the subject to control, in other words myself, and many others, with the use of body mappings, using Wi-Fi devices in your home, mobile phones, street antennas and onwards to project where you are with your frequency and to lock onto your skull somewhere. They say that the brain emits some sort of frequency address. I don't know that yet because that's just an assumption. This could be the most wickedest time in human history, with the technology that's been used to lure and sweeten the palate of the average person, only to incarcerate and to be in a programme to kill them. And this is an assumption, but I know this is happening, as I've seen a lot of TIs targeted in individuals, presentations online, and like witness videos, and a lot of them are committed suicide being in this programme, as they get gang stalked, not only using this V2K technology to the head with voices, they also get gang stalked in real life as well. And a lot of the testimonials are like inactive, you know, like they've like put them up online. They haven't been on the channel for quite a long time, and I just wonder what's happened to those people. I went to Think Tank the other day and looked at beautiful engineering in some of the machines used during the Industrial Revolution, which were awesome inventions, and wondered how the hell did we get from that to this current technology, which is working against mankind. And all I think there's some sort of this technology is very mysterious and magical, and I think it comes from the past of alchemy and stuff like that. And I think they're like kind of communicating with the dark elements of sorcery and like fallen angels, you know, like this kind of knowledge. I don't think is all from humankind. I think that's you know, they're in touch with the dark arts, and I think that they get a lot of secrets, and I think that's what the Illuminati is about, and Masons and all that. The people that are dipping into that area. How in 200 years have we got to technology that's so mysterious, how it works to the average person? Is this all work of mankind, or is there a bit of magic going on here? And my research of mystics have an influence on established education. Got like links to Crusaders and Freemasons being undeniably have access to higher positions in society, and the use of magic and sorcery in our society based on demonic attachment. Of course, it is there ancient bloodlines leading back to the Nephilim that is teaching the elite this mystery knowledge. As I'm under the impression that with like some sort of hive mind with celebrities and stuff, their consciences are like brought to me by my handler depending on the situation. They say that they had no choice, that they have to sign up with these dark art things as part of the whole package because many of them were captured the same way as me. Some of them say that this technology's been going on since the 80s, this mind capturing technology, this V2K, and they were led to think it was an upper consciousness, which is a way of controlling them. As I say, they emit torture depending on the handler's view of what you're doing. So imagine the torture of targeted individuals happening to you. Voice of God technology and so on, meaning they capture your skull, brain frequency address and control you via mind and nervous system, using techniques from MK Ultra Mind Control Program, a mind hive, where you are linked to every other human being. The ultimate aim is to get the best minds in the hive and exterminate the rest. And from what I understand, they map your mind. With their level of expertise, decide whether you are suitable for their ever-involving empire of psychopaths. As I say, the people that run this are not normal human beings. They're people that are low empathy, if any empathy at all, and they dabble in sorcery and all the dark arts. And they don't give a toss about whether you're of good intention or anything. In fact, they feed off people that are good standing human beings, and they're just like a sick. The people I've seen captured by this network are decent, honest and intelligent. Many are Christian, mothers like myself as well. A thing in common is they don't sell their soul so easily to the criminal cartels to be they're on the list to be exterminated. And according to Dr. Kathleen Horton, which is somebody who's got a channel on here, she mentions the inverted, demonically led elite are top downwards and are part of a shadow power, which in my opinion is these are the drops that God has led me to. Illuminati, Freemasons, anti-Semitic demonic seed, demonic anti-Semitic Jews and associated family cartels. So what does a typical day look like being a targeted individual like myself? I get up in the morning. As soon as I awake, the feeling of strong pressure around my waist, then a strong pressure on my head that feels like a heavy person or of 20 stone sitting on my head, and it's getting worse every day. This is because I ignored that my handler's voice of not putting my head down in shame to the V2K network, and also posting stuff up on YouTube as a witness. I get loads of threats that I'm going to be bumped off and all sorts, but God has given me like visions that if anyone comes near me, they're going to be dealt with. My handler has a criminal record as long as my arm. This is a criminal network, as I keep saying. My handler claims I would have an easier time if I put my head down and follow his instructions, but as I've said, I've chose to ignore it, as this is an act of terrorism, and they think this is going to be the norm now, and like I've got no choice but to go forward in this as the torture gets worse each day. As I say, I can like walk around with this no-touch torture, but I'm not inside. Like you just feel the feelings of like these synthetic programs of like emotions and terror and feeling like that all day long, or like pressure. So it's a synthetic feeling of pressure, but it's not obviously really happening to your body. All they've done is like choke me, but I think there's like an element of sorcery as well on top of this. As it's illegal to capture and torture somebody, I do not consent. As I say, it's an act of terrorism. They claim that I'm a low eater and feeder and have contributed nothing to society. I'm on the blacklist. So they're assuming that they're in control, which they're not. They're a network that's slowly destroying all our institutions and services. I think by blackmail, torture, people handlers, stuff like that. But I don't think our country's completely gone yet. I just think it's partially gone. So as I say, they assume that they are in full control and like the over government, over everything, because like there's obviously this undercurrent society, like with Freemasons and stuff, but it has a massive influence on everything. And this is what I'm trying to work out. How does like the surface law, like operate, with courts and stuff that use the Bible and the Orthodox way that we used to, the Ten Commandments, and this under government, shadow government that's got like Freemasons and stuff like that, and these philanthropists that go through society changing stuff. How does that exist? When one's opposed to the other, unless it's been an ever-growing cancer over like thousands of years. I don't know. I have a 100% clean criminal record. If you are not generating billions of pounds, you are on the cold list. Anyone who is generating billions of pounds who are of influence are already in this programme and have been for years. That's a V2K one. They were led to believe it's the upper consciousness, as I've said. People in the upper consciousness who are of influence share each other's minds in a hive and share the comment on each other's worlds. As being part of the V2K network, you have the access to see each other, and that's like through their eyes. You can hear what they're doing, can comment on whatever projects that they're doing. In one way it's like a cool thing, as long as you're not getting tortured, and you should be able to consent if you want to join up with this like messaging thing in your head with someone else's, not for it to be like a mental government, that chooses who to pop off and who don't, who deserves to live. And as I says, they do like mental mapping, so they like estimate how intelligent you are by using, I don't know if it's software or whatever, and handlers to constantly test and mentally torture you and to see how you react. And like your handlers are with you for quite a while and they can estimate your actions and thoughts through certain patterning and stuff like that. There's a lot more people that go on about this, and I'll put the links in the description box to lead you to them. Therefore, because of me standing on Christ's word of being fearfully and wonderfully made, just because I'm poor doesn't mean I'm any less a person, and I'm a big believer that we've been deliberately oppressed as a nation. Every part of our rights has been took away, and we're living in a time of absolute madness, and I'll be going into this in the next video. I have apparently gone up the ranks and need more people to torture me, so the feeling is getting heavier. In other words, I won't adhere to putting my head down, so they need more people to attack me. Now, I don't know if this is a script that V2K network has made up as a programme of breaking me down, but all my life influences are here, and they can access your mind and memories with this technology, and that's mainly musicians in my case. So I don't know if there's any validity in these characters that I know that are being used in this upper consciousness. I think 100% it probably is. As I say, it's linked, I think, with security services, which link back to CIA in America, which is the MK Ultra program that top officials ran, which was mentally torturing some victims that they took in by using all sorts of stuff, which was like electronic volt torture and stuff like that, and like playing people talking all night and like reprogramming them, putting them into comas or whatever. You'll see that anyway if you look for it. So it's MK Ultra. As I say, they've got musicians. As this is an aspect of who I am, I make music. So they use like these influencers to run you down, or like say that you're mad for doing this or owning that all day long. And they have to do it because they'll get a dose of punishment otherwise. So it just says, like, I am run down all day by associated musicians just because I put my head up, and they are blocking my brain somehow with some sort of torture device via network. Some of them do not engage in verbal humiliation, but they have to carry the torture out, which could mean not mental projection in this network, which actually puts a dose of torture on you. It's hard to explain, but it's like mental games that they play. This is where they have to play devil's advocate and decide for themselves to torture me on their handler's request or not, and take the torture themselves if they don't want to or engage at all. As I've said in the previous videos, I'm aware that Tom York's presence from Radiohead is in this, and he's getting thrown about in a virtual sensory simulation. He can feel me, I can hug him via a pillow, as like you're mentally projecting this network, as we are both going through hell in this. As each day goes by, the pressure on my body gets worse and worse. It's just on the edge of me wanting to commit suicide sometimes. The pressure is so hard, and him as well. But somehow we are both getting through, and what I'm aware of in this V2 network, I'm aware Julian Assange and Shane McGowan was in this, and I was aware, and he was aware of me in this network before he passed. Julian Assange telepathically said he was being tortured daily with tasers along with this torture network.
18 months of isolation and no-touch torture, I think we call it.
Shane McGowan was watching TV with me, you know, through my eyes, where I was watching someone crawling across the road on a carriageway, and he was hinting, that's me. As I say, they have like synthetic telepathy as well, and without actually saying anything, you know, with the voices. Any influential person on your life, your handler can bring their mind to you. As I said earlier, handlers are obsessed with sex and sexual gratification, but they base demonic. They take pleasure out of your pain, and the more discomfort I am in, the more they get off on it, where the sensation feels like you are being layer-caked with spirits that are eating your insides with knives and forks, scoffing at you like piranhas. These are the ones that enjoy your distress. As I say, there's like elements of sorcery and demonic practices. I don't know if you can even call them sexual, because they ain't normal sex. I keep walking forward and believing in God, as God gave me the promise of a kingdom space almost 4 years ago, and the one I was led to was my handler, but he was a kingdom snake. I don't know if this kingdom spouse thing is a demonic thing. It's still being rolled out. The meaning from what I'm going through. From what Tom York has been telepathically communicating, he's risking his life daily by not doing what they're telling him to do or associating with me. They are threatening to slew him. All stars are slewed, which means they are publicly taken apart with their own kind, the elites, not actually to us. Physically, depending on the degree of fame and what societies they belong to, Freemasonry and onwards. This is how, as an honour, this is known as an honour killing. When you get past your sell-by date, or if you lose it mentally, physically, lose your looks, unsellable appeal, age onwards. But Tom is trusting in God like me and walking forward inch by inch. Tom's presence is gradually disappearing as I am being blocked harder each day, more pressure on my head, where I can't think, like where it's like immediate life in front of me only. We think that Tom could be my kingdom spouse, as he is very similar to me. This could be why it's coming so hard against us, because of what we know. And we are a kingdom match in God's orthodox law. In other words, we believe in the same things. And if this does come together and he really is a kingdom spouse match, this will be the first time in history, I think, between the elites, or what's considered elite, and like someone from a poor background or a low feeder would link up this way. And that would upset quite a lot of people, I think. From what I understand, he's tried to escape his handlers a few times and got beaten up. I saw a vision of his face. He might have projected it of being pulled down, like a kind of surface gravitable pull, and like they're using like sorcery externally from the network to do that, and like he's been subject to a lot of abuse that way, and he's in like some sort of safe place. I've visited Oxford a couple of times on a one-off chance he might be able to meet up, as he can see my world but he couldn't get past them. Again, this has to be confirmed, as I only sense his presence in the network, and this could be a mind control script, but I'm pretty certain it's him. When I go shopping, the attacks of mental blocking are in full-on intense, as I know I have to remember things. My speech becomes slurred like now. When my child asks me questions, I sometimes find it hard to speak and get mixed up. The weird thing is, after the initial panic of the new heavy sensation, my body slightly adapts to it within 3 days, and then it gets worse again. As I say, I feel like I'm on breaking point when they emit like a new kind of sensation. I feel like I really want to kill myself. Then I just keep enduring it, and then my body somehow gets used to it again. And as I say, because this isn't like a real physical happening, it's a synthetic run down your nervous system somehow. I think that's why your body adapts, and it doesn't have like the full effect, but it is enough to drive to someone to suicide. My body is full of tension right now, both synthetically and bodily. I feel like I'm in a mild terror mode, and it's kind of feeling of endurance rather than comfort, because I can't get any, as there is no comfort or relief during the day. The only way I get a rest is to sleep, but that depends on the handler's torture for the day, where he can give electronic jolts to my body as I go off to sleep, or start talking to me, giving instructions or running me down, or other gang stalkers sending demonic pictures when I close my eyes. I cannot escape this torture, as it's always on and active. That's why I think it's linked to the 5G network. Like it's only me joining the dots, but it's always there. I thought it was sorcery at first, but that's not always on. Like you can have like spells that attach to you for a while, but this is too intense and too linear, and like it's crazy. As I say, hospitals can't help, as it's no touch torture. The only thing I know is like scans can show it, and not, I don't know if it's EMF meters that can show, like with that Dr. Horton, Catherine Horton, that's actually showed that on a channel. So under the torture regime, this thing can block your mind so you can't think properly. Cyber rape, slew you, move your limbs, they can move your limbs, head, etc. Make you sick or poop yourself, especially if you're in a fear mode. Give you severe body aches, stimulate feelings of terror, shame, guilt, anxiety. It can magnify your personal feelings of fear or love. It can physically give you nerve rashes, make your hair fall out, and from what I understand, if your body is under constant stress, it can cause cancer and so on. I understand that there are different types of administered torture. Some targeted individuals say they have direct weapons used by people who live near or passing cars, such as Dr. Catherine Horton, who gets gunned a lot in the head. I have seen others who have had attacks on the legs, which have big red patches on them, so those are direct heat weapons, I think. But I'm sort of sceptical on that. I think it all comes from the same place, but I haven't had anything. The only thing I know is taser weapons that you have to be in close contact. I don't know. The V2K network, from what I understand, is part of secret services using test subjects to execute programs. As I say, I think there's services are being infiltrated by these people, or maybe they were already in the know with establishments and to do with Freemasons, and our society has always been based on an underlying thing that way. And as I say, what should be in place to protect the people of the UK has ended up being used as counter-terrorism on its citizens. As I say, the language is used, like doublespeak goes on about, like UK column go on about this doublespeak. I forgot what it's called now, common purpose. Say one thing, like psyops are created, and then it's used as counter-terrorism actually on the honest person. There's almost like a protection in our society against the perpetrator. Because these two who I'm alleging are running this are based in demonic practices, these people I mean, your children will not be safe. The main objective is to send you mad, cull your elderly members by neglect, and we've already seen that during COVID. This is just my alleged opinion. Take your children away once you've committed suicide or have gone mad. As I say, this program is trying to drive you mad with physical torture, and you can't complain to anyone. There's many targeted individuals who have gone to the police and they know nothing about it. And as I say, Catherine Horton, she's wrote to the security services, and they won't take her off this list. Or probably deny that it's there at all, or investigate it. But you'll have to do your research on that. But I know from personal experience, I've had was kind of terrorised in the place I used to live at, and I went to the police, and they had this. The woman was more concerned with my daughter on the chair. There was a policewoman, and was constantly trying to undermine me at every second. And override me, and put her on a pedestal, and wasn't even interested, just laughed at me when I says that I was getting some sort of damage to my home and stuff like that, using intimidation by a certain individual that used to get away with it all the time. I know as well with my mum's settled when she had dementia and that, she should have got a lot more help, and these individuals would come round and would make the situation worse. And then my daughter, they'd be accusing you, the carer, rather than making the situation better with my mum, and me and my brother were the only ones that were caring for her properly. They set me against Tom York, who is also defying the network. That if I try to relieve the head pressure by using my pineal gland, he will go flying across the room in your head synthetically, and he'll have the feelings of being slammed against the wall. They can keep changing these mind control punishments. It's almost like a play they're set up in your head, techniques at will. It's getting to the point where they are doing everything to stop me, relieving the pressure in my head, and now it feels like a big pressure bubble in my brain. I mean, like now I feel like I'm burning here, you know, like it's like a stitch feeling here, and like my head's burning. I've got a lot of strong headache, but it's not enough to stop you getting on with stuff, but it makes you feel very low. I don't know what my feelings are now, as they've been blocked for months now. I can only feel what they want me to feel. I don't even feel joy. Only what they've synthetically prescribed to me, I feel. So like me, I just had a flicker in my eyelid. Just sometimes I actually talk through your body parts as well. Like I've had like rows in my legs. You know, like I've had like people talking, trying to make me go blind as well. I just like stare into it and just get on with my life. And it does get quite scary because you're going, how far is this going to go? And for what I've been dropped, something's happening around Christmas, hoping it will be this coming week. But God does his on his own timeline. As I say, being a prophet, you think it's going to happen like right away, but God, you know, drops it in his own time. You know, it could be this year, it could be next. Like the Madonna slewing, from what I understand, that was like some sort of prefabricated thing that was like mentally played out in the network. I think like preparing for a slew. So like it's still probably going to happen in real life. I don't know. As I've said previously, I've had some sort of drop of nuclear bomb concerning the state of New York, or elites of New York, and I know that this is actually coming from the USA, this shadow government that control the surface government by torture and by handlers and all sorts. So they probably mean well on the surface. You know, I quite like Donald Trump, that tried to get things done, but they are ultimately controlled. I've had like other messages from prophets, what I've been watching. It could be an EMF attack. From what I've heard, other prophets like Anointed Ashley have says that could take out the whole grid. As I say, this is the most wickedest use of technology on humankind, and maybe a catalyst to turn our backs on modern technology for a while. Maybe for good, I don't know. That's ultimately enslaves us at the hands of evil people. I mean, like this could be a good thing, you know. If it takes out the whole grid, it would be initially painful, and there probably would be a lot of people that would die. But you know, on the other hand, it could be a form of a reset, because this world has got so wicked. It might actually be a good thing in the long term, so get back to basics. And I was thinking about this earlier, you know, like the wickedness that's gone on with like manipulating our food, you know, like the stuff that they put in it, GM crops and all that, and chemtrails, the stuff they put in the water, you know, like we'd have to truly get back to basics, and like you wouldn't have the technology obviously like this at the back, because that'd be totally taken out. Electricity grid, everything, you know, like we'd have to mend and make our own way, and like everything could be stripped back almost like in a safe mode, which would be good for communities and stuff, like rebuild that thing back with each other. That's like the good side of it, but depending on like armies and stuff like that, and like the surface government, you know, whether they can, this dark element can still maintain the pressure. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of this one. I'll be going into more about the environmental aspect and stuff like that, probably in the next couple of videos. Okay, thank you, bye.
We'll stand at the toll gates.